Being a social animal, our relationships with other people are extremely important. So having very high-level social skills so that you're not constantly butting up against people, you're not offending them, you know how to charm people, to get into their spirit, to make them feel calm and relaxed. And it's not just being fake and playing a role, it just allows you to not have so much drama in your life. So much of our lives are defined by our social interactions. And you don't realize that all the mistakes you make, all the miscalculations, all the misreadings add up to a lot of pain. They create loneliness. They create tremendous amounts of anxiety. So you're always worried, did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing here? So the ability to have empathy, to get inside the spirit of other people, and to be open to them is extremely important, and it will make your life flow that much easier. I believe that work in your career plays an extremely important role in everyone's life. And the idea that you have chosen a career path that doesn't suit you, doesn't feel right, that doesn't mesh with who you are and your natural inclinations, by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, it can be a very depressing experience where you start tuning out and you're not so involved in your work and you're not learning very deeply or very quickly because you're not so interested in the details of it. And that has a very draining effect upon us. But you want that sense of fulfillment, something that meshes with who you are so that by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, you feel like you're heading in the right direction. And then when you get older, like I am, like I'm an old guy, you don't have any regret.
You don't realize the power that you have with your brain when you focus on something simple for enough time. It's like a drill boring into a piece of wood. You got to keep on boring and boring and boring.
So you have to be willing to be original, to be weird, and to go out on a limb and to express your true feelings and what's really going on inside of you. So if you listen too much to what other people are telling you, your work will just be a pale imitation of what the latest meme is on social media. It'll have no originality to it, and it'll die very quickly. On the other hand, if you just care about your own thoughts and ideas and you have no objective voice, nobody who can say this is good or bad, you're just going to write like a schizophrenic, like a madman. So you need a balance. You need people you trust in your life who can give you honest feedback and say this is good or this is crap. But you also have to have confidence in your own voice and say, I don't care what they're saying on social media. I know this is great. Other people have said as well. And I'm just going to be a rebel. I'm just going to stand by what I say.
If you don't love your work, you're going to burn out. You're going to stop paying attention. You're not going to be creative.
It's not about finding your passion. I actually don't like that word passion. It kind of makes me cringe because if you think about it, passion, to succeed at anything requires time and effort and boredom and tedium. So let's just say a simple example. You're learning to play the piano. When you first sit down at the piano, you have to play these really insipid tunes. It's so boring. You have to learn finger exercises and scales. On any instrument, you have to learn scales, etc. It's tedious, man. If you think it's got to be passion, forget it. So you have to create necessity in your life. You have to create the need to get things done. You have to give yourself deadlines. You have to remind yourself that tomorrow everything could go kaput. You could be fired. You could die. You could have an illness. Give yourselves a sense of urgency that I need to get things done.
Reach your goals. To actually take the time to make something that's meaningful to you. I can tell you personally that fulfillment that I get from writing a book, even though it takes a lot of painstaking and tedious hours of work, is a feeling that is so superior in pleasure to anything else in life. It's like I could die tomorrow and it's okay. I did what I wanted to do. I said what I wanted to do. I felt like I helped people and I worked on it and I gave it everything I had. That is a much deeper form of pleasure. And I want you to reorient your sense of pleasure to these longer term goals. We don't want to face ourselves. It's so much easier to look externally, to look out in the world, to find a guru or a coach who will help you, to find a book that will help you, to find a drug that will help you, to find some kind of, to go on online porn, anything, as opposed to looking inward and seeing who you really are. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom. Sometimes you have to go, nothing is working in my life. I'm miserable, I'm depressed, my career isn't going in the right way. Okay, maybe I'm the source of it. And when you hit rock bottom, you're willing to take anything, the pain
of looking at yourself isn't maybe as bad as the hole that you've dug yourself into. You want to be successful. You want to have some degree of power. We're a social animal. You want to get along with people. You want to know how to navigate these complicated social environments that we inhabit, right? And so it's not working for me right now. I'm getting in my own way, okay? So I have to step back and I have to look at myself and I have to study who I am and I have to do some heavy work on myself. You have to change your orientation, right? Your problem is emotional, not intellectual. Whenever we think that we don't understand something or we're having a problem, we think that knowledge is the answer. We have to accumulate more knowledge. It's intellectual. We have to know more data. We have to read studies. We have to understand these things better. The problem is emotional. The reason you can't deal with change or you're not looking at yourself is you have emotional blocks. You're full of fear. You're not aware that fear is the source of your problems, right? Because you're not attuned to who you are.